And welcome back, everyone. Welcome for the first time in a very long time to not Twitch.tv but Afrika TV instead. I'm of course your host Light VIP, and with me, joining me for the GSL Qualifier broadcast is the one, the only, the AsherBro.
Yeah. I have my Afrika on light mode and it's destroying my eyes.
Oh.
I'm dying, puppy.
I thought you were making a joke because you started being like, I have my Afrika on, and I'm like, oh.
Wait, is that a joke?
like getting your Afrika
Have I set the bar that low?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yes, we are here for, again, this is not first time streaming on Afrika TV. We have been here before for the Champions Cup last year for the Korean qualifiers. So we've been here before. But we have a very special broadcast for everyone tonight. Isn't that right, Asher?
Yes. Because it's Terran. Terran's always special. Feels good.
Special is Terran, yeah.
Oh.
It's gonna be...
I see. I see what it's gonna. I see how it's gonna be.
It's gonna be one of those nights, probably one of those nights.
Yeah.
But for those wondering, the GSL qualifiers were held a couple of weeks ago at this point. I believe 2 or so weeks ago. So it's been quite some time. But for those of you who are maybe a little bit more in the know, you should know that the GSL qualifiers are not broadcasted. They just focus on playing out the games. They focus on just making sure the players can get through everything as quickly as possible, and there is no official broadcast for the qualifiers. But Afrika TV have sent out the signal, sent out the call to casters out in the world to cast the qualifiers via replays.
Yes, they've lured us in to their secret lair.
Oh, they've lured us into IKEA.
Oh. I hope not. Can you imagine if you had a website set up like IKEA? Like, you can't leave. You just have to go through every part of the website one by one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You just have to stay in the website, and the only way out is
through the balls.
Through the balls. Shaking my head. I should shake my head. But yeah. So it is great to, have the luxury of casting some of these GSL replays. We do have 3 matches available too. We could only pick 3. And we can only pick qualifying matches as well. So these are all very high profile matches, of course, but we had to pick and choose, sift through the diamonds for the diamonds that we wanted, because there was a lot of really good matches, and we came out with some pretty good ones, I would say. Some pretty good ones.
Yeah, definitely. You've picked well, and we have some exclusive replays.
Oh, exclusive, Papix. Let's go. As you can see on the screen right now, the very first of our matches is going to be sorry, let's quickly set some things up here, but our very first of our matches tonight is going to be a bit of a PvP.
Okay, and it's an exciting PvP. Normally PvP wouldn't get me too excited, but it's stats, and we like stats. We do like stats here. We do like stats. There's a bit of a trend, a bit of a theme going on at the matches tonight, and that is going to be featuring some of the returning players. Stats, of course. Boomers.
You're an animal, Poppy. You're an animal. Stats, of course, did go to the military and did recently return a couple of months ago to competitive play. Has been streaming quite a lot, has been laddering, and has been popping up every now and then in some of these online tournaments, in Kung Fu Cup, in some of these qualifiers, some of these big events. Likewise, he has shown up here as well in the GSL qualifiers.
Yeah, it's really cool to see these returning players, and it's funny because quite a few of them said pretty specifically that they wouldn't come back. Mm-hmm. And then GSL got funding cut, and then they came back. So I don't know.
It's the passion, Bobby. It's the passion.
Yeah, they can't stay away.
There's a lot of history. There's a lot of fond memories. Stats, he's a champion. He's a champion in his own right as well. We expect great things from him. For a long time, he was the best Protoss player in the world. And he's going to be going up against Creator, a bit of a namesay here. He has solidified himself as also one of the best Protoss players in the world in current era, in current time. So, yeah, a bit of a clash of eras going on here as we're going to be jumping into our first game. Asher, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Count us in when you're good to go.
All right. And I dragged the slider all the way back to the left if you don't do that already. Yeah, okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. And spawning here in the top left-hand corner of the map, he is playing for... God, is he on Abydos now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. He's playing for Abydos. It is the South Korean Protoss in the red, Creator.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gresvan, we have its opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, I believe currently representing Kwangdong Freaks. It is Stats.
Right, he's got the hometown advantage. Let's go.
Oh, totally not the reason why we decided to cast him. But he is sponsored by the Freaks, by Afrika TV a little bit, and we'll see how he does do here. Again, we were talking about it earlier, but Creator has become one of the best Protoss in all of the world, in all of South Korea as well. It's Hero, it's Creator, and it's Classic, who we kind of look to kind of lead the way as Protoss players in the land of South Korea.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a bit of a dying breed, but I mean, what can you do? The ones that we do have are very passionate, especially Creator. I really love his passion for the game. It's always fun to watch, especially in GSL. Probably not always fun for him when that passion is despair, but I mean, having those highs and lows is what makes a player so exciting to watch.
100%. You know, that's why Beyond gained so much fans. That's why Creator has garnered so many fans as well. He is just a great guy to get behind and to cheer for, and it's just a beautiful thing to see him excel and to see him win. And both players here have made it to a qualifying match. Of course, we don't really want to go too far into details. You know, these events have already transpired. We do want to avoid spoilers, but this is, of course, where one will rise and the other will fall. For Stats to already make it this far is pretty promising, all things considered. I think there's a lot of people that have their eyes on these returning players to see how good they are right now.
Yeah, definitely. Stats was kind enough to do a few streams as well, so a lot of people tuning into those. He's one of those players. It's kind of like when Cyril streams or someone like that. Even if you're not a Protoss player yourself, I mean, if Stats streams, you gotta pop in and have a look. And I definitely got that kind of vibe that there was a lot of old fans of his popping into the stream to check out how he's going, and he was playing at a pretty solid level. He was up around that 6K, 6-1 sort of area on Korea, which is where you see some of these not quite top tier pros, but definitely like up there pros. So yeah, definitely at a decent level already. And players like Stats, players like Ino, you're going to expect them to improve very quickly once they get a handle on the meta as well.
Exactly. Like, they know that the skills are there. They just have to shake that rust off. They have to just dig it back up here and really show off what they are made of. And already we have some pretty standard openers here. We did have double gate openers from both players. No one went for a gate expand. As a follow-up, both players also have been investing into sentries. Creator a little bit earlier than Stats. Stats is going to have an influx of stalkers to begin with.
Yeah, Stats opening with 4 Stalkers here, slightly more aggressive than the 3 Stalker, 3 Sentry opener that's so standard here. Creator going to be responding with a shield battery, so he should be absolutely fine. Just needs to be careful with his positioning that he doesn't lose a Sentry, and he's doing exactly that.
Oh, yeah, there we go. The shield battery is in position, as you were saying. We do have Hallucination dipping on out as well, to try and scout across the map and figure out what is going on. And Stats right now is dancing with death. Oh, some force fields are thrown down, but they are wasted force fields.
Yeah, not quite the force fields Creator was looking for there, but good attempt. His Hallucination is going to be dipping into the natural now. We'll spot the timing on the Nexus, and both players, yeah, just going for a very similar opening here. It's going to be a Twilight coming out from both of them as well, so nothing really to separate the two so far.
Yeah, both players are going for a blink as well. Sure, we had a couple of differences in the opening units, but outside of that, everything is looking quite standard. I guess Creator is going to have a little bit less energy to work with, and that may come into play later on. But as the time does go on, I mean, he's going to regather that energy, and everything should be stabilizing.
Yeah, I would say as well, just having a think about how these two players match up. Creator definitely more of a standard player. I would say though standard in Korea does lean towards aggression, and Stats is well known for being an absolute powerhouse defensively. I mean, he is very sharp with his timings as well, but his claim to fame, I suppose, the thing that we know him as is just an absolute brick wall.
Yeah, some call him a wall, some call him a shield. The shield of Ire himself was Stats, and it kind of felt like, you know, maybe that mantle had fallen by the wayside a little bit. I don't really think that any Protoss player in Korea really stepped up to kind of for that play style, I would say. Like Zest, always aggressive, Creator as well, Hero Classic, they've all just hyper aggressive. Stats was a little bit unique in that way, and we'll see if he's going to be able to flourish here in this meta with a more defensive style, if that's what he whips out, as we do see Creator pushing on out with his army.
Yeah, I would say the funny thing is, if I had to pick any of those players that would be the most defensive out of them, I would probably say Creator. Yeah. I feel like Creator's a very versatile player as well.
100%. I was about to say, I think we casted Creator a couple of weeks ago, myself and Yako, and I think we did say that he kind of was the player to pick up the mantle from Stats, because he's like the closest we can get. But yeah, even then, totally. Like he's not quite cut from the same cloth as Stats.
Yeah, it takes a special kind of player to play a very defensive style. Something that, you know, the god of mindset, XY, himself talked about, where it takes, the mindset of the king is the player that plays defensive, lets his opponent come to him and just has that full confidence. It's something that Mario has made some serious bank on, and it's a harder style to play, but if you can lock it down, it just makes you unbeatable in certain player-to-player matchups.
100%. We have seen that before, and I'm sure we'll see it again here as Creator is deflected back with his push. Both players are slowly getting their third bases up and running as well. We've been seeing some great scouting from both players with their hallucinations, and they're just confirming that nothing crazy is going on, no additional tech like a faster Robotics Bay or faster Dark Shrine or anything like that. This is as standard can be. And I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest, because I want to see how Stats looks here in a more later game as well. I'm fascinated by his current skill level.
Yeah, the players have been almost exactly mirrored in their build orders. Both players going for very economic builds. We see those fourths going down at almost identical times. Third went down at almost identical times as well. Little bit of a lack of map vision from both players that they end up passing like this. But I don't think too much is going to come of it. I say that, but Stats is actually fairly undefended over here at the third.
At the same time, Stats, he blinks on the fort. He takes down that Immortal that was left exposed as well. So both players are going to be losing a lot across the map. We have an overcharge for both players, but Creator is losing his shield battery.
Wow, beautiful force fields by Stats. They're going to be sectioning off those Zealots and the probes while he finishes off the shield battery. Unfortunately, his sentries are exposed, but the defense for him back home is going very well. It looks like he might have been able to shave off a few more Stalkers than Creator was able to, but Creator with some good micro. We see a lot of red health Stalkers, always a sign of some great blink micro.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, back at home, we do see defensive weapons of Zealots for Creator as well, so he's been able to clean up as well. Both players have been losing quite a bit. The worker counts are actually slightly in favor of Creator, as, I believe he was forced to cancel his own fourth Nexus.
Yeah, looks like he was forced to cancel that, and having a look at how everything has transpired, these Stalkers, he's got to save these Stalkers. It's going to be really important that he does that, because he needs a backbone to his army. I mean, he's got the Immortals here. He just needs something to tank for it as well, and it looks like he has that. Stats, interestingly, not opting to go for an Immortal. He's going to be going for more of an aggressive out on the map style with these Zealots and with the War Prism.
Yeah, we can see +2 already more than halfway done for Stats, so he's going for a mass gateway army instead. Meanwhile, I don't know if you saw that. I rarely see that ever happen in PvP, but both players actually sniped each other's observers at the same time in the middle of the map.
that kind of makes sense. I mean, Stalkers probably have one of the slower projectiles out of most of the units in StarCraft, and
It was just really cool to see.
Why not? Yeah.
It was just really cool to see them go like that. As we do see, Kratos being forced a little bit more all in. We saw he canceled his own base, and now he's focusing on his army right now. He is slightly ahead in the army supply. He's got those immortals as well, so he has a slightly better refined army. But as the game goes on, Stats will have the upgrade advantage. +2 finishes up in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, Creator's army looks a lot better to me. He's unfortunately very slightly supply blocked here, so he's not going to be able to get that full Warpian off, but behind this Stats hasn't got this battery up and running yet. He's desperately trying to get together some units. An Archon and a Shield battery will be wonderful for shaving off these Zealots here, but the 2 Immortals are going to be a big problem for him.
They really are. Are there going to be enough Zealots? How good is this positioning going to be with the Archons as well, as Stats is getting here into position? The Shield battery is going to finish up. We're going to have an overcharge.
Yeah, I really like how Stats is doing this. He's going to lead with the Stalkers, get as much damage off as he can while expiring the shields and just blinking back. Creator going to go for something similar and actually putting the time pressure on Stats here by going for the Nexus with those Immortals. Stats has to take this fight now.
Yeah, he has. So a lot of the Zealots for Creator were stuck behind the army, though, on the right-hand side. The Immortals are looking exposed as well. They do get picked up, but again, it looks like the Archons of Stats are breaking through.
Yeah, great micro, dragging those Immortals down, but the Immortals are going to be exposed now. Stats blinks forward, takes out the Prism, takes out the Immortals as well. The Archon's going to be taking out these Stalkers, and I think he's held. GG is called, and wow, Stats takes game 1.
Wow, GG, well played. Stats, with a little bit better army positioning there, with the better upgrades as well, was able to take that, despite the fact that it looked as if Creator had a much more complex, a much better army.
Yeah, absolutely. As well. I have to log back in. I love StarCraft.
me too, Poppy. Me too. Oh god, GG, well played. Stats will take that first game there. It seems we were a little bit out of sync, but we'll fix that for the next game. It's all good. It's all good. And yeah, really impressive stuff by Stats. Again, he did kind of assume the defensive role afterwards, but we had a really awkward scenario. It was kind of like the Spider-Man meme where they were both pointing at each other, where they just 2 ships passed in the night, and then we ended up in a weird base trade scenario where they both had to trade each other's 3rd bases. It was crazy.
I almost queued a ladder game just said it. It's become automatic.
Asher. Mate, look, I didn't want to.
Far gone.
It's a problem. It's a problem, Asher. It's a problem. We need to speak about how much StarCraft you've been playing.
Whoa.
Oh no. But regardless, GG, well played. Stats. Let's take the first game in this series, and yeah, really impressive stuff. I mean, I don't really know if there's much to get into. I mean, things seemed pretty even for a while, but Creator did force himself all in, right? When he did cancel that Nexus, when he did kind of focus a little more on his army production instead, he was kind of banking everything in that one final push at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And Stats just took a absolutely marvelous fight, as we're kind of used to seeing from him. So yeah, nice to see that again.
Definitely. And oh boy, we'll see if he can keep it up here, as we're going to be getting ready for game number 2. Game 1, of course, was on Gresvan, but it looks like game number 2 is going to be taking place on Babylon instead.
Yes, sir. Okay. Are you in?
Whenever you're ready.
All right. So I'm going to press play on go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map. He is down 1-0 against the old guard here. Can he come back and show him all the practice he's been putting in whilst Stats has been away? It is for Abydos, Creator.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Kwangdong Freaks, currently up 1-0 in this best-of-3 qualifying match. It is Stats. And as we get into this, you love to see that both players, or at least Stats, is aware of the meta, and we see the gate expands being set up here in game 2.
Yeah, this is a nice narrow ramp, so very suitable for any kind of defensive style like this. In most in most matchups as well, this is a map that I feel like is pretty nice for Protoss, just because yeah, you have this nice narrow ramp here at the natural, and then around your third, at least until these rocks get broken, you have to kind of funnel awkwardly around these corners to make attacks. So it can be a very nice defensive map.
It really can be. It really can be. So, again, maybe this is where Stats can thrive a little bit more. We'll see, as, you know, we saw signs of aggression from both players last game. I'm curious to see how Stats will differ in his approach, as for the time being, both players are just setting up their expansions or looking to expand and looking to get in each other's way.
Yeah, that's right. We see the pylon block will be committed to by Creator here. So I feel like generally the way that the meta goes, from what I've seen at least, Protoss players do generally want to commit to the block as much as their opponent does. So there we go. We see Creator, we see Stats throwing down that pylon in the base as well. Creator just continuing to be annoying as well. Both players forced to make a Zealot to try to clear that up.
Yeah, we can see that Creator is the first to flinch a little bit. He does go for a Stargate first, so he's going to be prioritizing his tech. Stats, on the other hand, has not. Oh, we see another pylon block being thrown down. There we go. Finally, we get a kill on the probe of Creator in the natural of Stats, as he desperately wants that expansion.
Yeah, he is delaying a lot to get this expansion out. He is going for a second Stalker as well, so this is a little interaction that we do see from time to time, where one player is going to delay a third gateway unit, and if the micro is good, this can actually snowball out of control and just end a game very quickly.
It really could, but both players do kind of clash here in the middle of the map, with both units just kind of deflecting off each other. Creator, though, again, is going to have a little bit more aggression available to him with that Oracle coming out. Looking at the vision of Stats, he was able to confirm that, so he should be getting ready back at home, and there is that shield battery.
Yeah, so just a nice little safety measure there from Stats, and meanwhile, yeah, both players getting up their Nexus. Creator's pretty heavily delayed by going for that early Oracle, so he will be looking to get a little bit of damage here.
Yeah, exactly. The pressure is on Creator to make up for his kind of deficit here with his timing on his Nexus. Meanwhile, we do see that both Stalkers just kind of bouncing off each other again in the middle of the map. Both Zealots did go down, and now the Oracle is zooming across the map. We do have a second Oracle behind this.
Yeah, the Zealots trade out, but they're warriors. That's what they wanted. They want to die in battle, and they get an equal opponent. That's what they wanted.
Oh, PvP.
They're happy.
Balanced, but balanced. As we have that Oracle going into the main base, a stasis trap into the main. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, the probe's unfortunately stacking up a little bit there for Stats as they try to escape between those mineral patches. So we're going to be getting a pretty hefty stasis trap. 4 probes getting trapped here, and that should just about even up the earlier Nexus from Stats.
You say 4, I say 6, mate. There's the gas mining probes as well were caught out. So
oh yeah, yes.
Oh boy, that was a pretty brutal stasis trap. And now here we go, the follow-up. We do have both Oracles showing up outside the main base as well. They have that one-shot potential. There is one Stalker waiting in the main, and there we go, a couple more coming in to reinforce.
Yeah, second Stalker will be moving up into the main here, but great micro coming out from Creator. Going to be at one-shotting down these probes, as you were saying. Quite a few of those going down there. Looks like it was 4 for those Oracles. And we're getting a hallucination scale coming out from Stats.
Yeah, Stats, he dips on in. He confirms the additional gateways. He confirms the Twilight Council follow-up as well from his opponent. Stats, of course, will have a faster timing with Blink, but he'll have a little bit less production as, oh, he's going to be delaying his third gateway here. Stats is going straight for the third.
He is, and Creator going much more aggressive, throwing down 3 gates here before his expansion, so he's going to be looking to put on a little bit of pressure here.
Yeah, here we go. So once again, Stats is going to be reprising his role as the defender. Can he defend? Can he hold on to that faster third base? And now we're going to be seeing some more production coming out from Stats as well. For the time being, he's a little bit preoccupied trying to keep up with the Oracle aggression as he throws down a Forge.
Yeah, okay. So with that Forge coming down, he is signaling that he wants to play for a bit of a later game. And yeah, as you're saying, take that defender role. But I'm a little bit worried for him. Okay, no, Creator does throw down his own third as well. So looks like possibly those extra gateways more for safety than anything else. Stats should be okay for now.
Yeah, this is where I worry a little bit here, because Creator is setting himself behind in multiple ways, right? We saw that he had the later Nexus. We see that he's going to the later third base as well. The later natural Nexus is what I meant to say. And now he's not really taking advantage of his additional production either. So Stats is getting away with quite a bit here, as we even have a later Forge from Creator.
Yes, that's finding himself ahead in quite a few different metrics here. Much faster +1, much faster robo as well. So he should be in a pretty comfortable spot overall. He's getting away with cutting a few stalkers compared to that of Creator.
Exactly, and now that we've gotten away with it, Stats can focus on his production. We have additional gates being thrown down here so he can make up for that kind of gateway deficit that he had earlier. His third base is getting up and running as well. We can see that worker count. Despite the fact that Stats did lose 4 probes and he took a stasis trap to the face, he still does maintain a pretty hefty worker lead.
Yeah, and that's only going to get... well, I said something to get pushed further. He's reached his probe count now, so this is where he can start throwing down all those extra gateways, which is exactly what he's going to do. He can start powering up, and he's going to have a very slight timing over that of Creator with his +1, where he can really abuse the fact that his economy was ahead like that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he's going to have that timing with +1. He can maybe hit a later +2 timing. We have a Templar Archives on the way for those Archons, as we saw Stats use in the previous game. Once again, 2 games in a row, Stats, he's not really too concerned with the Immortal production, just going for mass gateway Archons, as both players are looking to throw down their 4th bases.
Yeah, wow. So I feel like we talked about it before. Creator probably the closest to being similar to Stats, and he's really proving it here. They're playing such mirrored games, but Stats just a little bit further ahead, and feels like Creator maybe giving him a little bit too much respect in this series.
Yeah, it's possible that he maybe because he's been conditioned because he plays against Hero and Classic so much, where Creator's like, oh, I need maybe additional gateways. I need to delay my third base a little bit just in case a push comes, but there isn't a push coming. So because of that, you know, Creator has been in a way setting himself behind by just being that much safer.
Yeah, could be. Could also just kind of be that I'm better than you play, where it's you think that your macro is going to be that much cleaner that you can just take a few extra safety steps and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it could be that as well. Regardless, it's an advantage that Stats does have. We do see that 4th base on the way, and now Stats is focusing on that army. The first wave of Archons are upon us. We do, I believe, have, yes, charge already done for Stats as well, as he's going to be moving out here with that Prism.
Yeah, okay. So this is that window that Stats did have, where he is going to have a little bit more production. He had those slightly earlier warpins as well. I really like Creator being active with his stalkers here on the map, but it's important for him that he does catch this move out.
Oh, he's got other things in store for us, because we have a hallucination coming in, and Creator, he blinks into the main base. Stats, he's going to make a choice. He has to make a decision, and he doesn't turn around. He's going to commit to his push.
Yeah, definitely a good choice there. He's going to try to commit now that he's got more stalkers at the front. So here he is arriving at the natural, and there's a bit of a sandwich setup by Creator. This looks like a very good setup for the fight, but Stats, no hesitation, going to be jumping straight on this third, going for the fight, and the Archon's actually going to be zoning out the Zealots. Really nice positioning there, using that Prism to kind of ferry them over into the right spot.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sure we get a surround, but the Archons were exactly where they needed to be. The Zealots of Creator, they just get melted.
Yeah, Stats is crushing this fight, actually. He just took this fight so very well. I mean, the Archon's just zoning out different sides at different times, and that allows him to take such an efficient fight. But he's going to be pushed back by Creator after taking out the Archon, after all his Archons have been taken out. So.
Yeah. Exactly, and after that trade, we do see Stats has now a worker lead, a lead that he didn't have earlier. I believe Creator was able to kind of supersede him a little bit. He was able to force the recall as well. We see the gateways in the main are going to be repowered for Stats, and I do think that he did come out better here. He did trade a little bit more efficiently. He was able to even keep some of these Archons alive.
It's pretty interesting seeing the difference between the players as well. It looks like Stats really does not believe in the Immortal, and it's been working out pretty well for him so far. I mean, this Zealot Archon force is trading really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's that much more mobile, you know, there's that much more pushing power with it as well. I do love to see it. And oh my god, Stats, no chill, by the way. He's taking one of Creator's bases. The 5th is being taken here on Creator's half of the map. Meanwhile, there was some nice moves. Creator did snipe the Prism of Stats, but Stats is quick to rebuild it.
Yeah, I love it. Stats showing such confident play here.
God, he really is, as he's going to be pushing on forward here. The Prism has now arrived to reinforce here on the front lines. And Creator, does he have much here to defend? He has rebuilt one of his Immortals. He has an Archon back at home as well. They are chilling at that triangular third base location, but this is a little bit dangerous. He can't afford to lose too many Stalkers here as he dances with the army of stats.
Yeah, I like the idea of shaving off little bits and pieces here, but Stats, he's got the Zealots, he's got the Archons, he's ready to take a fight here, and those Stalkers aren't going to deter him too much. Creator continuing to make some really good trades, though.
Yeah, really good trades. At the same time, we do have a Zealot run by on the right-hand side as well. Going to be trying to punish the 5th base of Stats, but he does have a defensive warp in as well. And here we go. Stats is pushing on forward. Almost gets sandwiched, though, as, oh, he's catching out these Stalkers.
Yeah, he does catch those Stalkers without the blink. Really good heads-up play there from Stats. Might even be able to catch out this Archon, but no, he is just pushing the army this way and that way, trying to look for the perfect fight here.
Well, he's looking for that engagement. One of those Archons is looking to go down as well. Once again, the Stalkers of Creator, they come in a little bit later, and the Archons, they just once again annihilate their Zealots.
Yeah, Stats' positioning in these fights is just absolutely brilliant, and he is taking such great fights. GG is called. Stats takes the 2-0.
Wow, GG, well played. As you were saying, the positional play there from Stats was insane. And he takes the series 2-0. He qualifies for GSL Code S.
Very nice stuff. Congratulations to Stats there. And he will be going on. So we'll get to see more of him very soon. I think GSL starts tomorrow, actually.
There's a reason why I wanted to do it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Day 1 of GSL is on the 25th. It is going to be tomorrow, so that's why we kind of wanted to get this replay cast going. And yeah, as you were kind of bringing up, that was really impressive by Stats. I think I'm with you when it comes to Creator being active with his Stalkers, trying to pick off whatever he can, slow down the army, you know, be like a thorn in Stats' side. But it did also feel like he was giving Stats the opportunity to fight and engage with Creator's army without the support of all those Stalkers. Like, they were being zoned away so well by Stats, and his fights were just beautiful.
Yeah, he just took amazing fights. That's pretty much all there is to it in the end.
For sure. Very well done here by Stats. 2 games in a row. You know, the map awareness, the kind of game sense that he has is something that clearly has come back to him here after his return from military service. And this is really impressive because 2-0ing Creator is no easy feat, and Creator is one of the other big Protoss names in Korea.
Yeah, definitely. But speaking of big Protoss names, coming up next we have the biggest of them all. It's going to be Hero.
It's going to be Zaun. But here we go. We are wrapping up our first series here. Coming up next is going to be a different matchup entirely. It's going to be a TVP between Bunny and Hero.